Alan Bagshaw, David Perry, Gary Lobb, Wayne Broadhurst, Trevor Eden, Adrian Stevens, Colin Earl and Stuart Woodall. Well, Colin Earl has been a winner here this afternoon, as we've told you earlier, and in fact had 2 wins. He's looking, I'm sure, to reinforce that with a 3rd victory in race 22. Here we go then, Gary Lobb in the middle. They go round the first bend, and we're looking for Colin Earl. That's him sweeping right round the outside. It is indeed. It's Colin Earl out in front. Stuart Woodall in 2nd place. Trevor Eden in 3rd. Gary Lobb battling for that 3rd place, in fact. So it's Colin Earl then out in front. Stuart Woodall in 2nd place. Adrian Stevens has dropped out. Across to the far side, it's Colin Earl in full flight once again. Colin from Middlesbrough, but we see a lot of him in this part of the world because one of his major sponsors, DNR Motorcycles and Hereford, of course, is there. And across on the far side, Colin Earl really powering away now. Colin, who had his first European experience this year, got into the European semi-final, didn't get any further than that, but clearly a very bright young prospect for the future. So it's Colin Earl there, ahead of Cornell's Gary Lobb, and then David Perry. A little bit further back again. Looking across to the far side then, it really is a comfortable lead now for Colin Earl. All he's got to do is ride around this last bend and keep it on the island. Victory there for Colin Earl. Gary Lobb surely going to go in 2nd place. Mike Dowling in 4th. 5th place Trevor Eden, and behind him David Perry, and then Wayne Broadhurst, and back a little way to in 1st place, number 172, Colin Earl, maintaining his unbeaten record here this afternoon. In 2nd place, number 7, Gary Lobb. In 3rd place, number 89, Stuart Woodall. In 4th place, number 282, Mike Dowling. In 5th place, number 19, Trevor Eden. In 6th place, number 419, David Perry. In 7th place, number 158, Wayne Broadhurst. And in 8th place, number 37, Alan Bagshaw. And the winner's time, 1 minute 30.90. 1 minute 30.90. So we're waiting on race 23. Here we go, they get away cleanly. David right up the inside. On the outside. So there, he drops it. When Andy Sauer's dropped at the head of things, David right on the outside now, drops to 3rd place on the 1st bend. That looks like Tony Aitken getting up into 2nd spot. In fact, it's Peter Laird who's come through into 2nd place behind Andy. Peter Laird leading the challenge, but already Andy Sell seems to have pulled away a little bit, but lost a bit of drive as they came off that far bend. So Andy Sell in the lead, Peter Laird in 2nd place, Jason Handley in 3rd. Across to the far side, it's still Andy Sell with the advantage as they go down the back straight, but look at the challenge coming from Peter Laird. Peter Laird closing right up as they come round that bend, but it's still Andy Sell as they go into the last lap. Peter Laird in 2nd place. Right, Chris Tripp. So on the far side then, it's Andy Sell as they go down the back straight. Andy Sell on the Golden ASP from Bristol. Unique monoshock Grasstrack machine that he's been riding since he started back with us. Andy Sell wins. There's Andy in 2nd place, Rob Fortune in 3rd, then Steve Bishop, and then Tony Aitken. Place 23. In first place, number 50, Andy Sell. In second place, number 95, Jason Handley. In third place, number 11, Rob Fortune. In fourth place, number 34, Steve Bishop. In fifth place, number 10, Tony Aitken. In sixth place, number 3, Chris Tritton. In seventh place, number 121, Alan Harmer. And in eighth place, number 38, David Wright. And the winner's time was 1 minute 31.88. 1 minute 31.88.
58, Lee Dyer and Justin Westaway. So we're left with just 4 outfits. Number 17, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. Number 6, Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. Number 2, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. And number 24, Rob Wilson Sr. and Tony Miles. On the legendary Ron Taylor to give a demonstration, and we're having motocrossers as well. They're on a separate class. That's on the 25th of September. I'm actually secretary of the meeting, and I am looking for entries. So if there's anyone here today who has a pre-75 bike who wants a ride on the 25th of September, there is prize money plus some very nice glassware for the winners. Come and see me, and I'll give you a set of regs. If not, come along and watch. 25th.
One thing, Brian, we haven't mentioned all afternoon, this is in fact the second round of the Brian Stibbs Trophy events, which Brian Stibbs Trophy is a super piece of silverware which is awarded to the winner of the 1000cc sidecar class over a series of nationals, and they're away, so back to you, Brian.
Right, and as they get away, straight to the front goes the crew that you and I can always pick out very, very easily, even in the dust, Rustling and Paul Uritz. That's a little bit of shunting and bumping on that bottom turn. But it's Rob Wilson. So we've got Wilson out in front. We've got Rustling there in second place. In third place it's Dave Steer. And at the back at the moment, Steve Smith. So Rob Wilson, who's had a couple of very good rides this afternoon. Tony Miles in the chair on the Steer Yamaha. 40 metres from now in second place, Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. Steve Smith right at the back at the moment, touring by his standards. So the field getting strung out a little bit of dust maybe. Yeah, that's the reason Steve's holding back, but who knows. We look to our right and we see still Rob Wilson and with a substantial lead over Russell Ing in second place. Still there in third place, it's Dave Steer. And in fourth place, touring at the back, is Steve Smith and Keith Wall on the V-twin Godden. We look to our right, checkered flag at the ready, and another win for number 24, Tony Miles in second place. Just number 6, Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. In third place, number 17, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. And in fourth place, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. Very appropriately for number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In second place, number 6, Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. In third place, number 17, Dave Steer and Andrew Orchard. And in fourth place, number 2, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. The time, 1:23.74, 1:23.74. The numbers again are 24, 6, 17 and 2. And in this one, non-starter, number 8, Mark Edwards and Nick Walters. I think Tony said earlier the outfit's still not repaired after the Masters 3 weeks ago, when it was of course ridden by Ken Lane, but still no motor, no bike for Mark. So he's a non-starter in race 25, so we're left with just 5 outfits. Number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spears. Number 98, Joe Mogg and Joe Smith. Number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. Craig having a reasonable afternoon. The man who's got it all to do, of course, is Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. They had a disaster last time out, and providing they've got the motor running again, they've certainly got it all to do to stand any chance at all of getting to the final. And looking down the points scored at the moment, I would think that's an outside chance only of them achieving the final today, or achieving the semi-finals and the final. Still, that's all in the future. We're now with race 25. Tim Bennett on the inside grid, then Ivor Matthews, Terry Phillips, Joe Mogg and Craig Cheatham. So in this one we've got Ivor Matthews already with 11 points under his belt, and as they get off the line, charge to the first turn. Who's it going to be into the turn first? Does look like Joe Mugg leading, but is he going to be leading as they come off the turn? See Joe Mugg. Kenny Phillips comes through in the second spot. Ivor Matthews through in the third spot. And Tim Bennett there in fourth. So the order is still very much the same as they go down the back straight. Craig Cheatham getting tailed off just a little bit, which is surprising because he's been going very quickly this afternoon. But Teddy Phillips, the veteran, trying to come around the outside. Yeah, I say that. Joe Morgan, so is Ivor Matthews. So it is still those three. A pocket handkerchief would cover all three. Joe Mugg leads as they go down the back straight. Ivor Matthews in second. Teddy Phillips just losing a few metres as they go down the back straight. And Tim Bennett still there in fourth place. Well, Ivor putting the pressure on Joe Mugg really having a super ride. Mugg, Matthews and Phillips, that's the 1, 2, 3, and any one of those three could lead, but as they come off the bend, Ivor and Joe Mugg get very, very close. They may have even touched, but Joe Mugg is leading as they go into the last turn. But I'm sure Ivor's going to try and come up the inside if Joe goes wide. Joe does go wide. Ivor gets there by a whisker. Ivor Matthews second. Teddy Phillips third. And in fourth place, it was Craig Cheatham. And in fifth place was Tim Bennett. In four, number 98, Joe Mugg and Joe Smith. In second place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In third place, number 52, Terry Phillips and Chris Spears. In fourth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. And in fifth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. The time, 127.45, 127.45. The numbers again are 98, 15, 52, 1 and 12. Andy Norris and Eddie Elvis. So we're left with just 5 outfits, 184 John Hiscock and Tony Beamister. Number 25, Rob Wilson Jr. and Colin Hill. Number 51, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. Number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. And number 4, Dave Penfold and Paul Randall. Well, Roger Measer already, after 2 rides, on 14 points, unbeaten this afternoon. Dave Penfold already on 11 points. And as I said earlier, Gary Jackson really has got it all to do. The Cheshire Centre man is back in the pack, and he needs certainly needs a win or a second place, I would think, in this one to stand any chance of a semi-final place. So on the inside grid, John Hiscock on the 989 Renegade. On grid 3, number 25, Rob Wilson Jr. on the Steer Yamaha. Then Measer, then Jackson, then Penfold. Measer, a superb start. As they go into the first turn, it is Measer leading. Penfold there in second, Hiscock in third, and Measer. As they come off the bottom turn, Gary Jackson trying to go around the outside of all of them. Up into third place, and Gary Jackson. Super top bend. Into the bottom turn, Gary Jackson again trying to go around the outside. But Roger Measer leading by about 20 metres. But here comes Jackson, he's got it all to do. But a super ride there to get round Dave Penfold and Paul Randall. And Jackson it is who takes up second place now. But Roger Measer is away. Measer and Lapham then lead from Jackson in second. Penfold in third. And behind them, John Hiscock and Tony Beamister. Into the last lap. Second, Penfold third. In fourth place is Hiscock, and behind John Hiscock is Rob Wilson Jr. Well, Gary Jackson making a big effort into the last turn, but I don't think Roger Measer is going to give away a 20-metre lead as they come off the there. Measer and Lapham winning. Second. In third place, Dave Penfold. In fourth place, it's John Hiscock I should say, and Gary Wright and Rob Wilson there in 5th place, not for a long time now. Duan, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. In 2nd place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. In 3rd place, number 4, Dave Penfold and Paul Randall. In 4th place, 184, John Hiscock and Tony Beamister. And in 5th place, number 25, Rob Wilson Jr. and Colin Hill. The time, 1:24.37, 1:24.37. Race number 27. And in race 27, we've got 149, Len and Ray Foreman. Number 90, Phil Pittman and Gary Lane. Number 5, Mick Cave and Mick Stace. Number 148, Rod Winterburn and Chris Winterburn. And number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Number 55, Jerry Adams and Paul Baseby is a non-starter. So, on the inside grid, the Foreman brothers. Grid 2, Phil Pittman. In grid 3, Mick Cave. In grid 4, Rod Winterburn. And in grid 5, John Halsey. So, looking down the points accrued so far, we see Rod Winterburn on 10 points, and really the others in this really have got to... Lenny Foreman on 11 points, of course. Phil Pittman not accrued as many points as I thought he may have done today. The man from Cornwall really hasn't featured as prominently as we thought. But, so he's got it all to do if he's going to get a place in the semi-finals. So, lightning start there as they go down the back straight for Phil Pittman. As they come off the bend, who's it going to be? The Foreman brothers there in 2nd place, and Mick Cave, unfortunately, once again in mechanical problems. So Phil Pittman must have heard what I said, that he's got it all to do, and indeed he's made a lightning start. So after a lap and a half, Pittman leads. The Midland crew, Len and Ray Foreman there, still in 2nd place. In third, the other pair of brothers here today, Rod and Chris Winterburn on the Yamaha. And problems for Mick Cave and Mick Stace, so for the 2nd time this afternoon we see them pulling out of the race. Problems there for number 5 as we look to our right. Len and Ray Foreman in 2nd. Rod and Chris Winterburn in 3rd place. John Halsey and Jason Glennie in 4th. And John Halsey really not had the sort of day that we usually expect of him today. Really has had problems all day, and I don't think we'll be seeing John in the semis. So we look to our right for the last time. Pittman gets there. Foreman 2nd, Winterburn's 3rd, and John Halsey and Jason Glennie in 4th. A win for number 90, Phil Pittman and Gary Lane. In 2nd place, number 149, Len and Ray Foreman. In 3rd place, number 148, Rod and Chris Winterburn. And in 4th place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. The time for that one, 1:26.82, 1 minute 26.82. And the numbers again, 90, a 149, a 148, and 13. Alongside him. In grid 4, number 94, Jason Stott. In grid 5, Dean Camier. In grid 6, Keith Strudwick. In 7, Steve Sarrit. Then Richie Knight and Lee Street. So Jason Stott on super form today is, I feel, the man they've got to beat in this one. Jason with 2 rides and 2 wins. But Dean Camier's in this, and Dean already with 19 points as we look to our left. Who's it going to be? Stott 94, Camier 44. Neither of them go past us for the first time. It's Lee Street, number 75. And Street it is who leads round that bottom turn, but Camier on the outside. We're looking for Stott. He's back in 4th place. Now he's up to 3rd. And Camier goes to the front. Then Street, then Stott. And Jason it is round the outside. Making a big effort to get on terms with Dean Camier, but Dean Camier leads. And behind Jason Stott, Steve Sarrit. No, order still the same. Off the back straight. It is Dean Camille leading from Jason Stott. Then the pack, in front of the pack, Lee Street, but any one of those four can come through into third place. As we look to our left, we see Dean Camille still there from Jason Stott. And Stuart Laird now making an effort, and Stuart Laird up into third place now. Well, Stuart's got it all to do. I don't think he's going to catch the leading two. It's all about Dean Camille and Jason Stott. Jason with 2 wins already this afternoon. Dean Camille on 19 points. They're both going to get through. Know it that when it comes to the final, points are all forgotten. It's all on a straight race. Retirement there for number 62, Steve Sari. So, we look to our left for the last time. Dean Camille on the inside, Jason Stott on the outside. Dean Camille again, I think, from Jason Stott. We'll leave that for the last score inside. In third place was 444 Stuart Laird. Behind Stuart Laird, 124 Strudwick. A win then for number 44, Dean Camille. In second place, number 94, Jason Stott. In third place, number 444, Stuart Laird. In fourth place, number 124, Keith Strudwick. In fifth place, number 75, Lee Street. In sixth place, number 116, Lee Gaydon. And just 6 finishers in a time of 137.18, a 137.184, 75 and 116. We move on to race 29. Number 154, John Edwards. 32, Adrian Squirrel. 248, Carl Wilkes. 195, Steve Mander. 72, Wayne Drake. 314, Graham Thomas. 30, Mark Rowe. 169, Tony Rance. And 344 is Mark Wadsworth. So, who's it going to be? Race 29? Is it going to be Mark Wadsworth, or is it going to be Carl Wilkes? Or is it going to be Mark Rowe or Graham Thomas maybe? So away we go. Right, away we go with race 29. British champion and the ex-British champion side by side as they go past us for the first time, namely Mark Wadsworth and Graham Thomas. Well, these two have dominated the 250 class over the last few years, and as they go in the top end, they are absolutely side by side. Wadsworth on the outside, Thomas on the inside, and here comes Carl Wilkes. And how many times have we seen that in the 250 class over the last couple of years? In fact, these three finished 1, 2, 3 in the national final at Minsterley 7 weeks ago. Although they didn't finish 1, 2, 3 overall on the day, they did finish in this order in the final. Wadsworth, Thomas, so Mark Wadsworth. I make no apologies for repeating once again, 11 times British champion. Absolutely unbelievable. It seems a long, long time ago that he won it for the first time at the race. 1978. So, last lap, Mark right into the last bend. Checkered flag at ready, and yet another win. Mark Wadsworth. Second place, Graham Thomas. Third place, number 248, Carl Wilkes. In fourth place, it is number 72, Wayne Drake, and behind Wayne Drake, number 30, Mark Rowe. And behind Mark Rowe, number 195, Steve Mander. And behind Steve Mander, number 154, John Edwards. And trying a win for number 344, Mark Wadsworth. In second place, number 314, Graham Thomas. In third place, number 248, Carl Wilkes. In fourth place, number 72, Wayne Drake. In fifth place, number 30, Mark Rowe. In sixth place, number 195, Steve Mander. In seventh place, number 154, John Edwards. And in eighth place, number 169, Tony Rance. The time, 137.37, 137.37.
There we go then, the 500 sidecars get underway. Paul Miller up the inside, Gary Lloyd making it. 4 outfits and a line as they go into that first band. And Kevin Leide sitting in his second spot going after Paul Miller, but Paul Miller seems to have the legs down the straight there. That looks like Mike Reid up into third place, Gary Lloyd in fourth. As they come round towards us, it's still Paul Miller out in front, Bob Reid in the chair. Time Paul Miller doesn't seem to be getting away from the opposition quite as well as he did before, but that opposition is headed once again by the British 500cc sidecar champion, so Kevin Leide and Dick Allroyd keeping a very tight line. Rob Williams and then Brian Canning. So looking across to the far side then, Kevin Leide keeping close watch on the leader ahead of him. That leader, of course, Paul Miller, with in the chair, Bob Reid. Quite a lot to go around. Certainly that very tight line paying off for Kevin Leide, but he doesn't seem as though he can get up alongside. In fact, it looks now as though Paul Miller and Bob Reid are starting to pull away and establish their usual healthy lead as we go for the flag. Victory there for Paul Miller and Bob Reid. Allroyd and Kevin Leide in second place. In third place, Mike Reid and Mark Stott. Then Gary Lloyd and Dave Higgins. And then back a little way to Brian Canning and Colin Lewis. And then number 14, Rob Williams and Edward Davies. Race 30 as follows. In first place, outfit number 17, Paul Miller and Bob Reid. In second place, outfit number 7, Kevin Leide and Dick Allroyd. In third place, number 57, Mike Reid and Mark Thorpe. And in fourth place, number 22, Gary Lloyd and Dave Higgins. And in fifth place, number 49, Brian Canning and Colin Lewis. And in sixth place, number 14, Rob Williams and Edward Davies. And the Williams time, 1 minute 39.25. 1 minute 39. And Colin Leith, number 5, 12 years old from Worcester. And Tony Dart, riding number 344, I guess. Tony Dart, 14 years old, the current national 200 champion from Ashford in Kent, and he won the Kent National yesterday, dropping only 1 point on his new track Kawasaki. Ryan Tully at 11, riding number 7, Christine. Tony Dart, 14 years old, on number 344. These surely are the stars of tomorrow, and not too far away into tomorrow, is it really? When you look at the skills of these young riders, it's very good to see, and it really does look as though, we'll be well served by these great young riders coming through into the adult ranks in just a year or two. Out in front, Ryan Tully behind him, and then Tony Dart. And I guess we need obviously a flag this time around, I think, just to complete this demonstration series of laps by 3 very, very fine young riders. Sneath as the current 93-94 champion with Ryan Tully, and also recently some of these lads went across unbeaten all afternoon. Here we go then, the first of the 500 semi-finals. Then shot up to the head of things and hanging on in there as I look across the far. I'm looking for Colin Earl to come round the outside. Colin Earl in second place. So then, Steve Bishop from Colin Earl, and look at Colin Earl. God, Colin Earl goes down. Well, now, what is this going to do for his place in the final? Colin Earl's down, he's perfectly okay. Stuart Woodall in third. Colin Earl's trying to fire it up. So there's Jason Handley now out in front of Colin Earl. No, not happen. We have taken that lead. Well, this is incredible, but remember, Colin Earl on 36 points may well get into the final anyway. Jason Handley's down now. This is quite incredible. This lead is changing by the second. It's Peter Leide who's inherited the lead. It's Peter Leide. But if you can hear me out in the centre there, Colin Earl may well be in the final anyway, so it does well for him to compose himself and get ready for that final. So Peter Leide then out in front, and Peter Leide is who wins. Who's going to get second place? Stacey O'Woodall, Sean Stacey just from Stuart Woodall, and then Jason Handley, and then a little way back to Mark Seabright. Remember, it is points into the final, so please somebody tell Colin Earl that he may well have enough points to get into the final, and indeed Steve Bishop may well too. First place, Peter Leide, number 4. In second place, number 51, Sean Tacey. In third place, number 89, Stuart Woodall. In fourth place, number 95, Jason Handley. In fifth place, number 167, Mark Seabright. And in sixth place, number 14, Kevin Buck. Well, as I keep repeating in the faint hope they'll hear me in the paddock, this is a points scoring competition to get to the final, so I am sure absolutely that Colin Earl will be in that final. It's been pointed out to me, of course, that there is 12 points for a win in the solo competition, so there's high points to be scored, but well, I'm still saying I reckon Colin's got a good chance of being in there. We'll see when the sums are done. Right then, second semi-final coming up with Gary Lobb, Tony Aitken, Steve Dawd, Andy Sell, Mike Dowling, Chris Tritton, Dave Wright and Alan Harmer. And the time for race 31, which I had omitted to give you, was 1 minute 34.45. 1 minute 34.45. So busy trying to remind people in the paddock of the possibilities, I forgot to give you the time. Sorry about that. Right then, race 32 coming up. Second of the 500 semi-finals. Gary Lobb, Tony Aitken, Steve Daw, Andy Sell, Mike Dowling, Chris Tritton, Dave Wright, Alan Harmer, and they're away. It's Dave Wright up the inside. Well, Dave Wright got the fence first, but I think it's Gary Lobb has gone round the outside. It's Gary Lobb who's out in front, Tony Aitken in second place as they go down the back straight. And Andy Sell sitting in third spot, David Wright just behind him, but somebody charging round the outside. I think that's Steve Daw coming round the outside, so it's Gary Lobb and Tony Aitken. Behind him, Chris Tritton. So then, Gary Lobb. Very quick young rider from Cornwall. What a group of very good young riders there are in Cornwall, coming fast to maturity now, and, following in the wheel tracks of Will James. Tony Aitken doing second and Tony Aitken comes through on the far side. Gary Lobb went wide and Tony Aitken comes through. Gary Lobb closing up again, trying to come round the outside. Tony Aitken on the inside, the Wolverhampton Speedway man out in front. Gary Lobb in second. Alan Harmer. So then it's Tony Aitken took advantage of that, just that slight slip by Gary Lobb, and Tony Aitken was through. Gary Lobb challenging again on this final bend, but Tony Aitken is out in front there. I think he's going to get there. Tony Aitken is third. Gary Lobb in second place. Andy Sell in third. Steve Daw in fourth. In fifth place, Alan Harmer, just ahead of number 3, Chris Tritton, and number 282, Mike Dowling. The second of the 500 is the solo semi-finals. In first place, number 10, Tony Aitken. In second place, number 7, Gary Lobb. In third place, number 50, Andy Sell. In fourth place, number 110, Steve Dahl. In fifth place, number 121, Alan Harmer. In sixth place, number 3, Chris Tritton. In seventh place, number 282, Mike Dowling. And in eighth place, number 38, David Wright. And the winner's time, 1 minute 33.84. 1 minute 33.84. And across to Brian to take us through the 1000cc
sidecars. We have number 51, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. They're on 21 points. Number 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones on 16 points. Number 4, Dave Penfold and Paul Randall on 15 points. Number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams on 14 points. Number 90, Phil Pittman and Gary Lane on 13 points. And number 2, Steve Smith and Keith Wall also on 13 points. So, now we're looking to see if there's a similar situation to what there was in the solos. If people don't score in the semis, they maybe get to the final nevertheless. The points scored so far, Roger Measer on 21 points with 7 points for a win. I would say Roger looks pretty safe to get to the final. Ivor Matthews, Dave Penfold, Gary Jackson, Phil Pittman and Steve Smith certainly got it all to play for. Roger then on 21 points. The nearest so far to Roger is number 24, that's Rob Wilson Sr. and Tony Miles on the Yamaha. They're on 18 points. The Formans are on 16, Joe Mogg on 15. The Winterburns on 14, Craig Cheatham on 13 and Rustling on 12. That's the second semi. But the semi we're about to see is between Roger Measer, Ivor Matthews, Dave Penfold, Gary Jackson, Phil Pittman and Steve Smith. Certainly a lineup of talent there. Two of the most experienced crews, of course, ever in 1000 sidecar racing. Roger Measer and Steve Smith. Roger won his first British Championship. Tony's going to correct me. I think it was it 1970 or 71? I'm not sure it was 70 or 71. Certainly in 72. I was certainly. In fact, I was racing in 1970. Certainly in 1972, Cecil Taylor won it. So either 70 or 71, Roger won his first title. I think the Meals won it the year before. So Roger being right at the top for the past 25 years. Steve Smith won his first title back in 1973. So he's been at the top certainly for 21 years. In those days, passengered of course by Roy French, but now passengered by Keith Wall. Well, a little bit of a ragged start. I think it was Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams that were trying to push the boat out a little bit there, but they're all called back to Ward for the 1000 chair final because we need a little bit of wind to take the dust away, and as they get away it's an even break, and Roger Measer it is who goes to front, but Gary Jackson's alongside on the outside, Steve Smith at the back as they go into the first turn. Dave Penfold's up there as well, and it's incredibly close all of the first turn. Then it's Penfold, and then it's Ivor Matthews, and then Steve Smith and Phil Pittman at the back. But Roger Measer's got away, and Ivor Matthews, I think, came into contact with somebody. It looked as though Ivor got pushed into the middle a little bit, but he's still with us in fourth place. No problems. We look to our right, and Measer leads, but Jackson put in Roger Measer, Jackson, Penfold, Matthews, Smith. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and Phil Pittman is in the middle. He's disappeared, so Phil Pittman has dropped out, and Jackson and Kevin Williams now putting Roger Measer and Shane Lapham under pressure once again on the bottom turn as they come off the bend. Gary locks it up tight by a whisker. Gary Jackson in second, Dave Penfold in third, Ivor Matthews in fourth, and Steve Smith in fifth, and we're not going to see Steve Smith in the final today. Still, it is Roger Measer, Gary Jackson, Dave Penfold, Ivor Matthews. That's the leading four as they come off the bend for the last time. Measer gets the checkered flag, Gary Jackson second, Dave Penfold third, Ivor Matthews fourth, and Steve Smith and Keith Wall in fifth. Number 51, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. In second place, 23, Gary Jackson, Kevin Williams. In third place, number 4, Dave Penfold, Paul Randall. In 4th place, number 15, Ivor Matthews, Peter Jones. And in 5th place, number 2, Steve Smith and Keith Wall. No 6th place, the time 1 minute 26.34, 1 minute 26.34. Race 34. The lineup. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. That's Rob Wilson Sr. on 18 points. 149, Len and Ray Foreman. What a super day they're having. 16 points. Number 98, Joe Mogg and Joe Smith on 15 points. The Winterburn brothers. 148, Rod and Chris Winterburn, also on 14. Number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds on 13. And number 6, Russell and Paul Uritz on 12. All could qualify for the final, but I've got to say they're only in with a very outside chance. So, Rob Wilson, Len and Ray Foreman, Joe Mogg, Rod Winterburn, Craig Cheatham and Russell Ing. So, as we look across, Russell Ing, another poor start, and Russell at the back. Foreman brothers are up there, but as they go into the first turn, Joe Mogg's up with them again, but it's all very close in that first turn. It is really close. And we go off Russell Ing, a super first turn, comes from last up to second place, and we lose them in the dust. I've just lost them totally. And one outfit seems to get a shunt in the dust. I'm not sure it was. It looked like Joe Mogg. But as we look to our right, I've lost them completely. Right, here we are. Out of the dust comes number 24, Rob Wilson leading. Russell Ing there in second place. In third place, Len and Ray Foreman, and behind them the Winterburns. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4. Down the back straight then, it's still Rob Wilson leading. From Russell Ing there in second place. 1, 2 in third place, Len and Ray Foreman in fourth place. It's Joe Mogg in fifth place, the Winterburns, and in sixth place, Craig Cheatham. Right, checker flag at the ready, we look to our right, and it's going to be a win. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Second place there to Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. Third place to Len and Ray Foreman. Fourth place goes to number 98, Joe Mogg and Joe Smith. For number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. In second place, number 6, Russell Ing and Paul Uritz. In third place, number 149, Len and Ray Foreman. In fourth place, number 98, Joe Mogg and Joe Smith. In fifth place, number 148, Rod and Chris Winterburn. And in sixth place, number 1, Craig Cheatham and Clive Reynolds. The time 1:26.31. Somebody's lost a chain. We've got it on a post in front of the PA van. If you want to claim it, it's here. Right, Tony, race 35, the last 500 sidecar race of the day, and over to you.
Thank you, Brian, and we've got Kevin Leide and Dick Allroyd on 17 points. We've got Rob Williams and Edward Davies on 8 points. We've got Paul Miller and Bob Reed on 14 points. I'm writing them down as well, and I write slowly. Sorry about that. It's Gary Lloyd and Dave Higgins on 10 points. Brian Canny and Colin Lewis on 9 points. Mike Reed and Mark Thorpe on 7 points. So there we go, that's the situation. And remember, the points count all the way through for the 500 solos. There is no final. They are just 4 point scoring outings to determine who's going to win. So, there we are. Some good 500 sidecar racing here this afternoon. So we've got the 500 sidecars there, race 35, their last outing of the afternoon. They disappear into the dust, and we look across to the far side to see them come out in the same order with Paul Miller and Bob Reed up in front, Kevin Leide to go right in second place. And in third place, as we look across, that looks like Mike Reed and Mark Thorpe up into third place. Well, Paul Miller Gary Lloyd pulled out in the middle there. We didn't see what happened to him, but he pulled out on the far side. Brian Canning's pulled out as well on the other bend, so we have now only 4 outfits circulating. But Paul Miller and Barbary. So then Kevin Leide and Dick Oldroyd must now know they've got a mountain to climb if they're going to close up on the leaders. Those leaders are Paul Miller and Bob Reid, the team in form this year, and they really are powering on. Quite different lines. Behind them, those are the 4 outfits that are still circulating. So on the far side now, establishing himself comfortably at the head of things, Paul Miller with Bob Reid in the chair. It looks like another national victory for them. It's victory down for Paul Miller and Bob Reid. Kevin Leide right in second place. Mike Reid and Mike Thorpe in third place. And in fourth place, Rob Williams and Edward Davies. Now, I rashly said that was the situation. Well done, Paul, and there's Kevin coming by, so Paul Miller and Bob Reid. Kevin Leide and Dick Oldroyd. Great battle they've had all last. Paul Miller and Bob Reid. In second place, number 7, Kevin Leide and Dick Oldroyd. In third place, number 57, Mike Reid and Mark Thorpe. And in fourth place, number 14, Rob Williams and Edward Davies. Now then, this is very, very tight, that 500 sidecar result. And the word from the left is what I rather suspected, that Kevin Leide has in fact won the overall 500 solo sidecar competition this afternoon. Those 2 points that he lost to Paul Miller in that last outing were not quite sufficient to deprive him of the lead in the 500 sidecar competition.
50 final, we've got 3 super finals to come. We've got the 250 final, the 500 final, 1000 sidecar final, the 250 final on the line. We've got 344 Mark Wadsworth, 94 Jason Stott, 44 Dean Cameo, 314 Graham Thomas, 248 Carl Wilkes, 444 Stuart Laird, 75 Lee Street, and 124 Lee Strudwick. Just 8 of them on the line. But Mark Wadsworth, I can see right on the inside, the 11 times British champion, right on the inside. Next to him is Stuart Laird. We're just looking over the heads of people. Next to Stuart, I think, is Graham Thomas, and next to Graham Thomas, right in the middle, I think we've got Lee Street. And as we look to our left, it looks as though it's all ready to go, and the tapes go up, and away we go with the 250 final. A superstar by Wadsworth and also by Thomas. They go past us for the first time, but Wadsworth takes it up as they go into the bottom turn for the first time. It is Mark Wadsworth on the outside, but Graham Thomas comes out of the bend in front. Stuart Laird's up there. Carl Wilkes is up there. Dean Cameo's up there. What a super final this is going to be. Stuart Laird goes a bit wide, takes 1 or 2 of them with him, but Mark Wadsworth on the inside. Jason Stott comes through. So, the order is Thomas, Wadsworth, Laird, and Jason Stott comes up into 4th place. Carl Wilkes goes down to 5th, and Jason Stott challenging for 3rd, trying to come through on the outside of Stuart Laird, but back with a lead in 2. Graham Thomas leads, Mark Wadsworth 2nd, Stott in 3rd, Laird in 4th, 6th and 7th place, Keith Strudwick and then Lee Street. But Graham Thomas is leading the 250 final as they come off the bottom turn, about 5 metres in front of Mark Wadsworth. The last one flying at the ready. It's Thomas, Wadsworth, Stott, Laird. Cameo gets it all locked up on the top turn. There's only 3 riders in there. Graham Thomas leading, Mark Wadsworth 2nd, and Jason Stott in 3rd, and Jason, a super bottom turn, comes up the back straight tight, but Graham looks to where Mark is, and he sees him on the outside, and Graham Thomas will hold it in tight, which he does, and Graham Thomas is going to get there. Oh, is he? Yes, he does. Wadsworth, Stott, that's the 1, 2, 3. Carl Wilkes, Dean Cameo, then Lee Strudwick, and then Lee Street last of all. Well, What can you say, Tony? The 250s have done it again. What a super final.
Magnificent, I agree, Brian. Absolutely magnificent. A super final, and what great racing we're getting from these guys. They seem to swap places every other meeting, don't they? There's 4 or 5 of them capable of winning, and they're being pushed hard by so many other people. A great race.
Yeah. Some racing in Shropshire, the Carl Stanton inspired sport, and there's none better than this guy Mark Wadsworth, and none better than number 314 Graham Thomas, or indeed 94 Jason Stott. Well, Jason's had a super day, Graham's had a super day, and so has Mark. After all that is as follows. In first place, number 314 Graham Thomas. In second place, number 344 Mark Wadsworth. In third place, number 94 Jason Stott. In fourth place, number 444 Stuart Laird. In fifth place, number 248 Carl Wilkes. In sixth place, number 44 Dean Camier. In seventh place, number 124 Keith Strudwick. And in eighth place, number 75 Lee Street. The time 1 minute 39.16, 139.16. And the numbers again from the top: 314, 344, 94, 444, 248, 44, 124 and 75.
Well, just to give us a shot, we got a kiss out instead, so
I think you've done a Murray Walker on us, Tony.
well, they've done it to us, I think. Yeah, that's right.
I think Beagle's going to walk in a minute.
Yeah, any time now. Never mind. So it's Ryan Tully, number 7, Chris Neath, number 5, and Tony Dar's changed his number again, I think. He probably couldn't quite grab that bike from Mark Wadsworth in time, I expect, as he came back into the paddock. So, Tony Dar there, 40 years old, ahead of number 5, Chris Neath, 12 years, Ron Worcester, the current junior champion, and in fact won it in 93 as well. And going with him, Ryan Tully, 11 years old, number 7 from Pershaw. So we'll see these names, we'll see these faces, we'll see the success that comes from them, I'm sure, in a few years' time in the adult ranks. I'm not quite sure what happened to Tony Dar, but it made a strange noise as it passed us. Could even have run out of fuel, I suppose. Oops, Chris Neath. Really working away at that. Ryan Tully in behind him. And of course some of these modern two-stroke engines, very quick indeed. In fact, it's a little bit of a sadness. We don't see much of the four-strokes in youth Grasstrack, but there might be a few ideas on trying to bring them back into the youth sport. Not cheaper to run, of course, but clearly just not quick enough class for class. So there we go, super demonstration from Ryan Tully and Chris Neath, and our commiserations to Tony Dart, who only got a short ride round instead of the longer one that he was planning. In the paddock we are looking to have the first 3 in each class for the presentation awards, which will take place as soon as we can following the final race. So across there in the paddock, if you could be prepared, the first 3 in each final to come up for a presentation of awards. Mrs. Vera Smith, the wife of Bill Smith, is going to do the presentations for us, and we look forward to a lot of you staying to give these guys a good loud cheer for all their efforts here this afternoon. Here we go then, the 500s get underway, the quickest class here. Mark Seaby going well. So 28 on the outside of Gary Lobb as we look across to the far side, and Gary Lobb's come off that bend with the advantage. But Colin Earl's closed right up on him and overtaken him on the exit from that bend. So it's Colin Earl out in front, Gary Lobb in second place, Tony Aitken in third, and Colin Earl looking to put that. Gary Lobb in that order as he goes across through the dust to the far side. Tony Aitken, I think, tucked in behind them. So it's Andy Selwyn who's leading the battle and going after that flying leader, but that is Colin Earl who's out there up front. Colin Earl leads. Andy Selwyn in second place, they're side by side. Further on the far side, it's Colin Hall from Andy Sell. And at this point, Colin Hall seems to have pulled away a length or two in front of Andy Sell, but Sell challenges as they come off the bend, coming wide. One more lap to go. And they power into the bend to our right. Still, hanging on grimly in there, but Andy Sell's getting closer and closer. One more bend to go. Sell is surely going to challenge around the outside here. It's Sell around the outside. It's Earl up the inside. Earl still has the advantage. Coming in. Second place. Peter Leide up the third. 28 finish for Gary Lobb. Laid it down on the bottom. Doesn't complete. Well done, Colin. I think he's more cheerful now than he was when he stepped off in his semi, don't you? Race in first place, number 172, Colin Earl, winner of the first national Dumbleton Dazzler. In second place, number 50, Andy Sell. In third place, number 4, Peter Lloyd. In fourth place, number 10, Tony Aitken. In fifth place, number 110, Steve Dorr. In sixth place, number 89, Stuart Woodall. And the winner's time was 1 minute 31.62. 1 minute 31.62, and then
Beezer 51 with Shane Lapham in the chair. 24 Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. 149 Len and Ray Foreman. 15 Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones. 23 Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. And number 4 Dave Penfold and Paul Randall. So who's it going to be? Well, Roger Mees is so far unbeaten this afternoon. Super afternoon also for Rob Wilson, but Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams have shown in the last ride that they can push Roger all the way, and if they get off the line, well, who knows? Could be Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams on the FZR from the Cheshire Centre, or Gary from the Cheshire Centre, Kevin, of course, from Shrewsbury. So, Meeser, Wilson, Foreman's, Matthews, Jackson and Penfold. We've got the Len and Ray Foreman have been around in this game a long time. Back, I think, in 1977 they started racing, 77, 78, and they've had their ups and downs, but today, what a super day they've had. They really have. They're laughing at me because I say I'm the commentator with a long memory. I'm not really. I can tell you what happened in 1960, but I can't tell you what happened yesterday, Tony. I can remember the Breton Constable final in 72 as though it was yesterday. Away they go. Foreman's got a good start. Meeser gets a good start. Jackson gets a good start. They're in the first turn. It's Wilson leading and Penfold's up there as well. And if they come off the bend, this is going to be a cracker. Second, Roger Meeser in third, Gary Jackson in fourth, and they go into the dust. And where are we? The order is still the same. Wilson leading, Penfold second, then Meeser, then Jackson, then Matthews, and Foreman's at the back. And as we look into the dust on our right, it is still Wilson. Penfold, Meeser and Jackson. Then either Matthews and Len and Ray Foreman, I think, have got lost a little bit, but as we look across, it is still the same. Wilson has pulled out a tremendous lead. Up in the second place comes Gary Jackson, and something, I think, has happened in the... something's happened over on the far side, but we can't see what, so we look down. It's Wilson from Jackson, from Matthews, from Meeser. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4. Then Len and Ray Foreman. And as we look to our right, the last lap flight goes out. And Dave Penfold trickles past at the checker flag. Wilson wins it. Gary Jackson is second. Third place goes to Ivan Matthews, and fourth place to Roger Meeser. Well, Len and Ray Foreman in first, but something happened over in the dust, and Penfold slowed and Roger lost a place. What happened, I don't know, but whatever it was, what a super win there for Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Tony Miles on the steer Yamaha, the Kent Crew win. In second place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. In third place, number 15, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones. In fourth place, 51, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. In fifth place, number 149, Len and Ray Foreman. And in sixth place, number 4, Dave Penfold and Paul Randall. 127.27, 127.27. The numbers again are 24, 23, 15, 51, 149 and 44. I think. Right, we're going to start off with a 250 presentation. First of all, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Vera Smith on my left, who's going to present the awards this afternoon. Thank you. Round of applause. Thank you, Jenny. Right, we're going to start with the 250s. And first of all, in third place, Jason Stott. If you start the presentations, it makes them wrong, you see. Come on, give this fellow a round of applause. Well done. Second in the 250 today. Last time I did involved with the presentation, he won it. Today he's second. Mark Wadsworth. Looks as though Dave Lord can only afford one hat. Is that right? You're swapping in a new tracker, hat around. Well done, Mark. 11 times British champion. Second today. The who's first today. Twice British champion. 92, 93. Super final today. What else can you say? Graham Thomas. I've just been told by Graham's dad, the reason he went so fast, he burnt his leg. So, any truth in that?
Yeah, I burnt my leg on the exhaust. I burn it every week, so I should learn by now. So, it's happened again today, and perhaps it brought me luck.
It's his fault. He wants to make you a guard for it. Come on, make him a guard, Tom. Hey, we're not going to see the leg, are we? Hey, how about this? Hey, where's Alan? Here we are. How about that? Right, Graham Thomas, 250 winner. Right, we're going now for the 500 chairs. Over to you, Tony.
You can put your knee on the garlands, Brian, because they're about to fly away. Right, the 500 sidecar competition, a special invitation competition. In third place, Mike Reed and Mark Thorpe. I always think this is cruel, you know. You have a hard day's racing, and then you say to these guys, climb up that steep ladder over there, you know. There's the envelope, there's the money. Congratulations, fellas. Well done. Second place, Paul Miller and Bob Reed. Well done, fellas. Well done, Paul. Well done, Bob. And the winner of a very hard-fought 500 sidecar competition, Kevin Leide and Dick O'Roy. You don't know quite what's going on down that end. I'll explain later. Right, here we go, the Rose Bowls being presented. You see, we haven't quite got enough garlands, so it's sort of put them on, take them off, and there we go then. Well, congratulations on a great drive, and I think once again you've proved that the 500s can really show us some great racing, and it gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're trying to put on a show for the public. We could do with a few more competitors if anybody's interested. There's a few bikes about. I don't know what to say really.
So there we go. Congratulations, fellas. Great driving. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the 500 sidecar competition at the Dumbleton Dazzler for 1994. Right, in the 500 solo competition, third place, Peter Lloyd. Well done, Peter. Congratulations. In second place, Andy Sell. Reads the number on the front and off he rushes. Well done, Andy. Congratulations. And the winner then of the 500 solo competition, Colin Earl. Well, you can see a lot of local support. John Bevan Transport from Hereford, DNR Motorcycles from Hereford. There we go. Let's try and have a word. Colin, you really looked just a little fed up in that semi. Did you think you'd blown it for the final?
Yeah, it normally happens. 3 good races, hit the semi, bump, he's down again. But enough points in the heats, scrape out the final sort of thing, and we're all off again, it's all square.
Yeah, a terrific ride. The guys were pushing you all the way, weren't they?
Oh yeah, there's no mistake. One mistake, Andy would have been through, but we got there in the end and just kept going.
Nice to win in front of your local sponsors and supporters.
Yeah, well, thanks to DNR Motorcycles, John Bevan and New Track, they're all here today, so it's nice to put a show on for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate the winner of the 500 class of Dumbleton Dazzler for 1994, Colin Earl. We're following the garlands again. We'll let you have it back later.
1,000 sidecars, and in third place today are the Matthews Peter Jones. Today they had problems earlier on, but it all came right in the end. Second today, Gary Jackson, Kevin Williams. Wait for him, Gary. He don't walk as fast as you. He's older, yeah. He's even older than he was last year. Well done, Gary. Right, it was super the 1,000 sidecar racing today, and at the end of the day, there's only one winner. Rob Wilson, Tony Miles. Right, I think we're going to have the pictures first and then we'll have a word with Rob. If you all turn down, I'll get out of the way. Right, we'll have a quick word with Rob. Before we do, we have a small presentation of Mrs. Smith. Thanks very much for presenting the awards and something to take home. Oh, lovely, lovely. Rob, just without any ado, give us a rundown on that final. I actually lost you over in the dust over there. What happened, I don't know. Just give us a rundown from the time the tapes went up.
To be honest with you, I didn't see anything at all because we was actually in the lead. But they said one of them was got mixed up on the corner a little bit, and obviously allowed us to get away a little bit, you know. So, you know, that's the luck of the draw at the end of the day. Next week it's somebody else. So that's it really.
So it goes without saying you're well pleased with your day's racing.
Oh yeah, very pleased. I mean, we made a right tits of the Masters. Completely, I don't know where we are, 15th or something. Roger's done the engine for us. You know, that's a big thank you. Really has helped us a really lot. I'd also like to thank the crowd. I have the same old lot, week in, week out, win, lose, but they still turn up. You know, and that's what it's all about. So, you know, I'm pleased today. Yeah, good.
Great stuff. Right, before I hand it back to Tony for the last word. No, he doesn't. Right, well, I'd just like to say on behalf of Tony and myself, thanks to the girls, and particularly Dawn for lap scoring and timekeeping. Made our job easy. Dawn in particular has had a busy 3 weeks. She was Secretary of the Masters, Secretary today, and it's all pretty hectic. I'm going to give Tony the mic for the last word. Maybe as a member of the ACU committee, you'd like a word based on your position with the ACU.
I see. Well, what I'd like to say is we're delighted with the way that the Avonvale Club have risen to the challenge of running a national event following last year's Intercentre. I'd like to thank all the club who put in such a lot of hard work. Dawn's already been mentioned. The amount of work she's put in behind the scenes is quite incredible. Eddie Alvis, of course, who lives over here and has done a lot of work on the track. My only thought is, let's hope we'll have a little less dust next time. But they judged the situation. It would have been dangerous to put water on it. And I think you'll agree with me that the guys out there on the bikes put on a tremendous performance for us. Thank you for supporting the grass track. Congratulations, Avonvale. I look forward to seeing all of you at a future grass track. And thanks to Mrs. Smith once again. Thank you very much.